Hi guys, this is Mrs. Friesen. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. Today I wanted to post to you an assignment that I'd like for you to get done before Sunday, and it shouldn't take you very long. It's only 4 questions, so it like I said, it shouldn't take you very long to do. But I hope everybody got logged in to my PLTW. And once you got in, hopefully you understood from the last video and what we did and or what you were supposed to do. But when you go in at this time, you can use my PLTW as a resource for your assignment today. So you'll click on courses, or yours may say classes for you guys. But of course, I have a whole bunch. But you'll log into your student, and what you'll be working on is this lesson over here. What is engineering? Lesson A. And you're not going to worry about this activity A1. You're going to go here to activity A2, Introduction to Engineering. Now, today I'm going to kind of go over a little bit about um, and the introduction to engineering, but I will also post for you a PowerPoint for you that is explaining everything about the introduction to engineering, and you can use that resource for answering your questions. So if you click on this PowerPoint, you'll have your own copy. And once you get your own copy, it'll look something like this. So what do engineers actually do? And so what they're going to talk about is, what is STEM and engineering. Engineering, all STEM is all part of engineering. So you're going to have to answer some questions on this worksheet right here. In your own words, describe each of the following terms: science, technology, engineering, and math. What do you think those all mean to you? Well, if you click on to the next slide, it's kind of talking about each one of these aspects of STEM or scientists. Well, what do scientists do? The science part of it. Well, they investigate our natural world. Mathematicians, they're usually, whenever you think of math, you think of numbers and symbols and solving problems. And of course, your technologist or the technology that's applying your science and your math to design something. And then, of course, we have engineering or our engineers who create our designed world. So you put it all together, you have STEM, and to solve problems, of course, our own society problems right now and our needs and wants. If you think about it right now in the situation that we're in, I've seen several creations now for face masks. Um, you know, many hospital workers have to wear a face mask for a long, long time. Many hours, 8 to 12 hours a day, or even longer, and it kind of hurts their ears. And so now some people have kind of invented or maybe innovated a face mask, and they went gone in and they've kind of I've seen little uh they're little, I don't know, little back, they're something that you put on the back of your head that connect your actual face mask to relieve the pain from your ears. So again, that's a problem. And what did somebody do? Somebody came up with a solution by using kind of some STEM aspects. Next is think about this. Everything in your house, somebody had to think of it. Somebody thought of it. I always would, if I was in the classroom, I would have picked up the stapler. But think about that, the stapler. Who thought of the stapler? Well, somebody that had a problem. Somebody wanted to staple or put two pieces of paper together so they would stay together. So somebody came up with that, an idea. Oh, let me create a stapler. And then they drew it, they designed it, they probably made a prototype out of it. But there was some science, there was a little bit of technology, somebody had to engineer it, and there was probably some math involved. So, how are all these kind of products created? They're created through each one of these aspects. So on your worksheet, if you go to your worksheet, you're going to go down here and that'll give you some ideas on the on this describing your stem in your own words. Then if you go down to think about it, we all have problems, okay? But what are the problems that solves our needs and wants? What are our human needs? Well, we have physical needs, we have biological needs, and we have psychological needs. And you can kind of see some examples here on this slide. Then, here, what are our human needs? Well, if you think about it, we have physical and biological and psychological needs, and they break those down too. So the difference between the two slides here is that, we wants and needs. These are the needs. This is what we need as humans. These are some of the things we want. Right now, I want to actually get out of my house, right? Well, what is that? Is that a physical want, a biological want, or a psychological want? Well, it could be a couple things. It could be a physical want and or it's a psychological want, something that I need to go out and just improve my mood, or maybe it is something that I need to get out and get some sun. That's a biological want. Okay, so you're going to talk. We're on the worksheet. They may ask you a question about what's the difference between needs and wants. Engineering. Here's your definition of it. And engineers, what engineers can do is they invent and innovate. Now, an invention is somebody that actually or something is a brand new product or a system or a process. It's never existed before. Maybe you know of someone that is an inventor that has come up with something and it's only their invention. But think of all the things that have been innovated. The phone has been innovated, right? I'm thinking in my lifetime how the phone has been innovated. So know the difference between an invention and an innovation. Of course, what do engineers do? These are kind of some examples of how what engineers do. Some of you may be so interested in this, and maybe someday some of you are going to be an engineer. Let's see. So this is kind of a last slide. You can read over it, but these are kind of the questions that I'm asking you in your worksheet. Um, what is, in your own words, what is STEM? What's the difference between invention and innovation? Complete two examples of how scientists and technologists and an engineer and a mathematician would actually work together to create a new product. So I gave you the example of scissors. You're going to come up with your own example here. Okay. And then think about how each one of those would be a part of that invention or innovation. So, what's the difference between a need and a want? And then here, use the chart to list our human needs and wants. And you might go back to that PowerPoint and check out some of those things. This one here, number 3, is what is an engineer? And give me some examples of what they do. And then the last questions, why do you need to learn about engineering and technology? So think about that one. In our world today, what if we didn't have ventilators for people that may need them in this time of need? Okay? Thankfully, someone invented that to help improve our well-being. So I want you to think about some of these things and get you kind of geared for some of the things that we'll be talking about in this class. If you have any questions at all, feel free to email me. But this is what you will need to get done, this worksheet, and then I will also post the PowerPoint for you, this PowerPoint. But also you can make your own, you can have your own copy of it if you log into your MyPLTW and go to over here, A2 Introduction to Engineering. I hope you guys have a great day and I hope everybody's staying safe and well. I'll talk to you later.